Good evening, everyone. How are you guys? Happy Thursday. You guys are live here in our regular Thursday evening live with Brandy. I am Brushed by Brandy. I hope you'll go follow me on my pages on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Pinterest. My husband Sean is here tonight, you guys, to help answer any questions. I'm going to apologize right off the bat. I've been under the weather all week. I'm really congested, so bear with me. My brain's not all functioning, but I've been working. So I just got off a live in the Redesign with Prima group, and now I'm here live with you guys this evening, and this is the piece that I've been working on this week. So I'm going to take this apart so you guys can see what's behind it. But this is the transfer that I plan to put on the front of this piece. It's just a little 3-drawer chest. It also has a mirror that's up on top that's painted to match. And I want to cover the front in this transfer. And it's a really cute transfer. It's called The Birds and the Bees. And I'm going to read the front of this to you. It says, "This is the place that I love the best, a little brown house, like a ground's bird's nest, hid among grasses, vines, and trees, summer retreat of the birds and the bees."
Oh, sorry. Felt like kind of nodded off.
Tonight we're just going to read poetry to you here on the Dixie-Ville Facebook page.
Get your fingers going.
Yeah, it's just a really cute little message. It's got some birds, some bees, some flowers, some trees, you know. So I'm going to peel this off and show you guys what's underneath, and then we're going to put this on. So this is the chest that I'm working on, and like I said, it's 3 drawers. I've added all these molds down the side. These were cast in resin.
Thanks, Gary. He says, "Oh man, we want Noah."
I don't blame you. Although from what Noah tells me, you guys made some hefty promises to him. Like, if he shows them something, they'll send him $25 and he'll get 5 days off school. I don't know. I haven't watched it back yet, but I have it on good authority that you guys were bribing my son. So I cast these molds here out of resin. I do have a blog on my website at brushedbybrandy.com on how to cast silicone molds with resin, and then I attached them down the front of my piece with,
wait for it,
Tight Bond Quick and Thick. That is my favorite adhesive to use for attaching molds. This is also a mold I've attached. This is down here as well. The 3 colors that I have on this piece are, this is Yankee Blue, Driftwood in the middle here, and then collard greens are my 3 colors. This is raw paint. It has no top coat over the top of it. I did top coat the sides, but not the front yet.
So the information you said about Noah, Sheila doesn't want to get anybody in trouble, but she said it was Gary.
It was all Gary.
Yeah.
Hey, Sheila, thank you. I know I can trust you. I know you had nothing to do with it, and it was 100% Gary. Totally believe that. So I am going to start with, when I am building a piece of a transfer like this, you may, have an inclination to start over to one side. I'm going to start this one down the center. And then I'm going to build my sides off of this. And this is kind of a larger size transfer. I'm going for it. And I'm going to center this, knowing that this is the center of my transfer. I'm going to center this right onto the center of my piece. Just like
so.
Okay. Now, I have a mold right here. I'm going to cut my transfer around this mold so that it will fit. So I just have a razor blade, and I'm just going to use my fingers and press it down the edge of the mold. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just want my transfer to go around this raised molding here. Otherwise, this piece has a fairly flat front, and this transfer is going to go on pretty well. I've been getting a lot of messages on transfers this week. Can you guys tell? I want to do a lot of videos on transfers for you guys. Most of the messages I get, so I just cut out this little guy right here. It's just a little piece of the flowers. I shouldn't need that, but who knows? And then I'm going to make sure that this is laid straight. It's a little bit sticky. So I'm using like the lines of this text right here. Does it line up with the line of my drawers? It's pretty darn close. This is an old piece of furniture. If it's not exactly perfect, I'm okay with that. And then I'm going to make sure the top up here lays pretty well. So this is a nice one. This is going to go on pretty easily because it's all flat. I'm going to lay it. I have a carved detail here, and I'm going to go ahead and lay it right over my carved detail too.
Yes, June, that is a very sharp, not dull razor blade.
That one, I actually got
same one?
I got a new one out.
What?
I know, it's a special occasion that I get a new one out. Sean and I have been saving. We made an investment in a new razor blade.
Nice.
Yeah. What did I use? Oh, I did another live this week. God, I've had like...
What's the name of this transfer?
This one is called The Birds and the Bees.
This is an awkward piece.
Yeah. The Birds and the Bees. So I'm working the center of this here. Honestly, I have the drawers all in. I'm going to put it on. Let me get this drawer in a little bit right here. That's going to sit like that. Okay. And I'm going to put this on right over the seams of my drawers, and then I can come back and cut this with my razor blade again. It's easier to cut your transfer when it's attached to the backing sheet.
And when it's a new razor.
And when it's a new razor blade. So now that'll be a cut in between, and then I'll cut it here for this drawer. I can cut it for this little piece of trim here. All these cuts are going to make it that much easier to lay. So this little piece I just did right here, I can rub this on, come back and pull up an edge, and right away, here's a little piece I missed, but right away this little piece is going to detach. And I go slowly with it so that if there's any pieces that start pulling up with my backing paper, I can just go right back over those spots with my transfer tool. And then I'm going to use my fingers and press it down. All the little edges. That's what I'm paying attention to. I'm using my eyes to look for places that it might be raised, and then my fingers to go back and press them down. I can come up here and do this piece. You can kind of hear that little popping sound. That is just air bubbles getting in between the clear backing sheet and the transfer itself. Oh, I missed a... I'm going to cut up here for this drawer.
I want to show off the new razor blade.
Shiny. Watch out easily it slices my finger open. You can also use the Redesign with Prima transfer tool. This is just a plastic tool. It's got a little bit wider of a tip on it, and you can use your fingers to just give it a little bit of pressure.
By chance, do you remember the name of the molds that you used?
Yeah, hang on. I knew you guys were going to ask that. Hang on, I'll be back. I'm just going to run to the store and grab one.
Everybody's a comedian.
Be right back. It's only like a 30-minute drive. So this is the mold that I used. And I went through and I labeled all of my molds.
That's all we want to know.
This one's called Forest Flora. My molds are not really this dirty, you guys. These are ones that we've used in classes before. So that's why they look so messy. So all this is just pieces of resin that I can just pop off. I just haven't gone through and done it. And some of these have been used
Sheila,
from classes.
Can you use your husband's credit card? She does, just not for that.
Sheila, do you want to use my husband's credit card or your husband's credit card? That's the question.
Well, there's no fun in using your own.
Yeah. All right. Now this middle section should be pretty close to attached too.
That's a plastic tool, correct?
This is a plastic tool.
Okay, just throwing it out there.
I think it looks
It's
like
not metal.
It looks like a whale tail, huh? Caw-caw. What is a whale?
What the heck does it? Make? That is not.
Sean, do your whale call.
Only on the beach. Hold on.
It's almost swimsuit season, ladies. Not only have I been sick all week, you guys, but I actually am not sleeping at home tonight.
Yes.
Yeah. I've decided that I'm going to take this show on the road. No, I have a super fun adventure tonight that I'm not particularly excited about. So you guys, I laid this transfer right over this molding right here, but I just want to show you guys, I can press it right in. It's so shallow that I can press it right into that little crevice detail, and the transfer just flexes a little bit. It didn't tear it at all. It just flexed it and put it right into that molded detail as well.
Your arm's in the way.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm talking about this right here. See how it's got a little molding? I can just come back and press it with my finger. It didn't tear. It's just a shallow little mold. And that's kind of what the transfers do when you put them over texture, is they will flex to your surface a little bit. I'm using this opportunity to go through and press down my edges. This also helps get rid of the halo that you see around the transfer. Once I press it down, and I'll find a good spot once I've got all this on, but once you press it down and get all the air out of that halo virtually disappears.
So because I can't pick on your natural talents for any of this.
No, ever.
Can we I just want to kind of recap certain things. Like, one, what does a whale sound like?
Okay, I feel like these are questions that are better answered by the Nat Geo channel.
Oh, I would agree.
If you go up to your wife and you ask her, what does a whale sound like, you are going to get slapped.
Only if she talks.
Yeah. What do you think? She's just going to make the whale sound? That was the Brush by Brandy relationship expert advice for
PSA.
the night. Yeah, do not ask your wife what sound a whale makes.
If you want to make it till tomorrow.
Sean's just saying this because he knows I can't sleep at home tonight anyways. I have to have a sleep study tonight, you guys. I'm going to sleep in some random place. Not on purpose.
But is it really a sleep study?
Yeah, well, this is what I tell Sean anyways, when I want to just spend a night away from the house.
What's that jerk's name? The redheaded guy?
Oh.
Yeah.
No, Sean knows he was just in California too.
Yeah, we all got a warning.
It's my crush.
Signal flares.
Sam Hewen was just in Disneyland. So the point I wanted to make is with some of these bigger transfers, you guys, don't rush the process. I'm going over each individual letter right now. Some of these transfers, especially the big guys, over a lot of curvature, can take me 2 hours to apply a transfer just to get it on there.
Amanda says she's sorry you won't get any rest. But I will.
I know. That's kind of what I'm like. I'm so tired. I've been sick all week. I just want to go inside and relax. And after this, I've got to go pack to go stay the night at this random place.
It's Motel 6.
Yeah. You get ill. Ta-da! How cute is that? It went perfectly. I don't have any, I mean, all my transfers are not perfect, you guys. Some of them have little flaws but this one, I'm pressing it into this, crevasse. But I love that. And then you can see when I do this stripe here and this stripe here, it's going to fit this piece perfectly. I went through a couple different transfers before I kind of married which one I wanted to put on here. So this is another little piece that I sliced to the edge of my drawer.
You just work one-armed. Arm gets in the way.
Sorry. Then I use my finger, and I will go back once I get all this laid and I've gone out over all of it with my finger. I will go back over it with the Dixie Belle finishing pad too.
So I just have to touch on a point. A couple of people are saying that sleep studies aren't bad. They've been through 2 or 3.
Oh, good Lord.
Well, yeah.
I could have to do this again.
The blank in me just says they're apparently not working so well if you got to go for multiple.
I've done one at home. So if you guys message me on my page, you guys notice I always answer my messages at like 2 or 3 a.m. That's because this girl does not sleep. I'm tired. I've had my nose fixed twice. I can't breathe. So I don't know. We're going to figure some of this out, I hope. But I only want to do this once. I already have done a home one. And now they're sending me to this random place to do one. So as much as Sean likes spending the night in random hotels, I do not enjoy it.
Only hourly. So.
Wow.
So to go back, you cut the transfer.
I did. I just sliced it around. I laid it on here so that I had a rough layout. And then I just sliced it around like my drawer edges. So here, I'll do one right here. I'm so nervous.
Oh,
it's a really sharp razor blade. Okay, so this is the bottom of a drawer. My transfer is already pretty much on here. And then this is a piece of molding right here. So I'm going to slice underneath that molding. Cutting it into smaller pieces can help you work around all the details of your furniture piece.
What are the colors that are on this piece?
This piece has Yankee blue at the top. It's got collard greens and driftwood are my 3 colors. So it looks pretty plain right now, but I think after I've been on for a little bit, I'm going to finish up a little more of this transfer. I'm going to dry brush over some of these molds here to bring out some of the details. I'm going to use dry brushing and then some gilding waxes on them so they stand out a little bit. Right now they're kind of flat because they're just done in the body color of my piece. Not too exciting, but once I add a little bit of color to them, I think they'll be a nice accent. Thinking some whites, maybe yellow. My hardware on this is going to be gold. But I feel like there's this misconception that transfers are like a fast process, and they're not. They're not. They're not a simple, stick it on, one and done. You really need to take your time with them. Pay attention to what what environment you're applying them in. So for example, if there's any moisture on the surface, your transfer is not going to take. And that moisture can come from humidity in the air. We're in winter right now. If it's pouring down rain outside and you're trying to put a transfer on in your garage with the door open, it's probably not going to take. It's going to be hard. I'm paying attention to each letter, pulling back my backing sheet as I go. Here, I'll swap hands. Does that help a little bit?
Not so much.
Oh, sorry. The plastic transfer tool is nice for larger transfers because it's got this broader edge. Whereas if I'm using like this little wooden one, I can only work, what's that, 1 inch? I can only work at 1 inch at a time. This one gives me like a good, 2-inch service, or if I turn it over to the larger side. And then it has curved edges too, so I can get it in if I wanted to press it into, this molding here. So I've had like 5 lives this week, and I've been trying to make sure I have projects for all of them, different things. So I have like 20 pieces going on right now. I just photographed a new one today. I have a new piece on my page tomorrow, because I'm going to sit at my sleep study and edit photos tonight.
Heck, you know what? It might be so quiet, you might want to stay another night.
This is true. I have kids.
We have kids. Can I just opt for your sleep study?
Although we did just get a new mattress and I'm kind of digging it.
Where did you get the tool?
This is the Redesign with Prima transfer tool. You can get this through Dixie Belle. Dixie Belle has the transfer tools. I put my links up at the top.
Sorry. Peggy asks, is there an underlying reason why Brandy has to have her nose fixed? Just ask him for a friend.
Yeah.
No matter what, anything I say after that is going to be a problem.
Yeah,
so I'm just, yeah.
You're best to just keep quiet after that. So, Sean's official response is no comment. It's, my attorney has advised me to plead the fifth. No, I was just lucky enough to be born with a nose that has never worked right. Ta-da! So if you've never done a transfer before, I advise you, instead of having your first transfer be to order one of the larger ones, like the 6-piece Cosmic Roses, you know, huge transfer, start out with one of these smaller guys. Whoops, see, this one didn't stick. So I'm going to come here and match it right up and transfer this piece. Even this is 3 pieces, and this is a large transfer. This will probably take me a good hour to attach. And then even once it's on, I'm not going to go right here and clear coat it. Then I go back over it with my fingers, and then I'm going to go back over it with the Dixie-Belle finishing pad. So it adds a lot of detail to your piece, but you also got to make sure you're putting it on right. I go over all the details with my fingers, so that looks really, really good. I love how it fits this piece too. And then I'm going to come up here and I cut this piece up here, so we'll do this tiny one first. Once I have this all attached and I've gone over it with my fingers and the Dixie-Belle finishing pad, I can put clear coat right on top of this. I don't have to wait. Oh. The little birdie's head got chopped off.
You're so selfish.
It's just his head.
But it's right under there. Yeah.
Because this is a tight fit in between
it's okay.
the top.
See?
Poor birdie. See, it's getting right into this lip up here. I'm just not going too fast with it. But I love how this transfer looks on this piece. It was between this one and Beauty of Life, which is a, that came out a couple releases ago, but I really like the Beauty of Life transfer too. They're kind of similar shapes.
So just to go back a few steps, when you put the transfer on, one, it's in 3 pieces.
Yes.
And when you put it on, you're then cutting it to the drawer lines around the piece in the center of the medallion there. And
yeah, I mean, you could measure it out and cut it before you lay it on. But I placed it, but I didn't press it down in all the areas. So it has a little bit of stick. And if you just kind of lay it there. And then I cut each individual piece to the drawer, the molding, the drawer, the molding, the drawer, the molding, all the way down the front of my piece. It's just easier to work with in smaller sections, and it's easier to cut these lines. So if I were to do this whole transfer and then come back and have to cut this for the drawer openings, it cuts easier when it's on this clear backing than otherwise it sticks to your razor blade.
And the transfer name is the Birds and the Bees.
Birds and the Bees. That's an easy one to remember, huh?
What are you trying to say?
I mean, I've never heard that term before.
Kind of a simpleton? Is that what you're
yeah,
trying to say?
We have kids. I get to have those talks.
Oh.
Noah's old enough. He did 5th grade health class last year. So.
Oh man, yeah. Good times.
Yeah, I went to watch those movies too, where you get to go preview what they're going to show the kids. That was fun.
So back to the transfer.
Yeah, those are fun videos. By the way, they're still the same videos that we watched when we were kids. So. So, let's see. I've been on for, 25 minutes? And I've done one section of this. This is an hour-long transfer. So, see what I mean? If you're doing, Let's do the math on that. If you're doing a 6-piece transfer, this is a 3-piece. It's going to take me about an hour. A 6-piece one, 2 hours. 2 hours is pretty spot on.
So then you push it down with your finger and then you come over
Yeah,
with...
can you get in here? Can you see, like, I'm going to show you this spot right here. See how I've got the outline? It's a little, I have a white edge right here where it's a tiny bit raised. But watch when I rub my finger over that. The white spot disappears because it's not raised anymore. And that halo is so much lighter now. You know, if I get up on it, I can still see it. It's not going to disappear completely.
And then once you're done putting this on, you come over it with...
I'm going to coat this one in. I think I'm going to go on with a flat clear coat on this one because I want kind of that farmhousey feel. Kind of goes with the message on the front of the transfer and the designs that I've added. So I'm going to use flat clear coat, and I like the flat because it has no sheen. So it's a very kind of rustic look. So let's talk about clear coats. Think of it like wall paint. If you put a flat paint on your wall, that's slightly less wipeable than something with a gloss to it. Same thing with your clear coats. If I use a flat, it's got more protection than nothing, but it's less wipeable than the satin or the gloss. So satin is a great kind of middle point where you still get the wipeability to it, which means it's easy to clean, take care of, maintain. But I want a flat clear coat on this. So I'm going to go ahead and dry brush. I just want to hit the flowers. I'm actually going to try to not get the stems, but if I do, that's okay, because I'm going to probably go over those with another color. Thinking maybe coffee bean would be pretty on those. But I just want to get the flowers. I want to hit the high points with a little bit of drop cloth. I'm going to use drop cloth because it has a little bit of yellow to it. It's a white, but it's a creamy white. And I'm just taking a chip brush, and all I'm doing, I'm just using the lid. I tipped my brush in the lid. I'm going to lay my brush off, and I'm going to lay it off more still on this towel on top because I really just want very little paint. And then I'm just going to dry brush and hit the high points of my molds. Can you guys see how all of a sudden you can see the distinction between it just gives a little bit of definition to those molds. Probably even use a smaller brush than this one.
Did you put links on the top of this page?
Yes. Let me get a little bit of smaller brush.
So where do you go to find the transfer?
This transfer, I put a link up in the top. So this is from the newest release from Redesign with Prima. Dixie Belle does not have this one yet. So I put up a second link where you can find this newest release of transfers. Dixie Belle does have some transfers, but this is the newest release, and Dixie Belle does not have this one. So for this particular one, use the second link that I put in the post. If you want to look at other transfers, you can use the first link and just look on the Dixie Belle Paint Facebook page.
Now, to go back to the infancy of this little dress, or the molds you put on.
The molds I put on. This is the, Forest Flora mold by Redesign with Prima. They're silicone molds. I have a full blog post on my website on how you can pour these. These were cast in resin. So this was a really flat, plain front piece, and I wanted to add a little bit of interest to it.
And the links are at the top of the page.
Yes. The links are in this post. For the transfers, for the paint, for the, what else am I using? For the molds. Dixie Belle also carries a variety of the Redesign with Prima molds. So I went ahead and got an artist brush because these are a little bit small, too small for that chip brush. And I'm not giving them solid color, but I'm just dry brushing some drop cloth on top of my molds. I'm just doing the flower parts because I'm going to come back and get the stems with a darker color. I'm thinking I'll do coffee bean on the stems. And right now I'm putting the drop cloth on. I also might add a little bit of yellow, I think. So this is a good way for I get the distinction of the flowers, but without having to go through and individually paint each one. This just gives me a little bit of definition to them.
A serious question. How did you attach these?
Oh, not a joking question?
No, it's not.
These are attached with, my favorite adhesive to put molds on is Tight Bond Quick and Thick. It's a hardware store item. It's a multi-purpose adhesive, and I like it because it's quick and it's thick. So meaning that it sets up fairly quickly, and because it's thicker, it doesn't run down the front of your piece while it's in the process of setting up. So it's very user-friendly. So I picked that up at Lowe's or Home Depot. So I've just gone a little heavier on the white in some spots and a little lighter in others so that I can give definition to these flowers. It's kind of shading them a little bit. And these were pretty flat before, and now you can just see all the detail that's in those molds. I'm going to come back and give this some dark waxes and stuff. So I've got a little bit of my drop cloth on my piece, and I'm not really worried about that because I haven't clear coated this or anything yet. So when I come back and add my clear coat and my waxes, you will not even see that. Although I'm trying not to. But if I get a little bit, it's okay. And then I'm going to do the stems in a darker color. And I think once this is all put together, and I've got all, so this is a 3-piece transfer. So the next piece is going to go up on this side and another one on this side. And then it'll all kind of pull together. I'm going to go ahead and do these molds down here. This is all one mold, and I just cast it. Let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I cast it 6 times. I did it in resin. The resin sets up in about 10 minutes. Like I said, that's on my website. You can go in, that has full links on where you can get the resin, videos on how to use it. It has a full blog post on making molds with resin. There, I really like these in the white. It's nice and simple and clean and fresh. But I love using molds to add interest to, this is a really plain flat front piece. It had nothing.
So once you create these with the resin, are they brittle?
When you first cast them, they have a little bit of flex to them. So you can bend them a little bit when you first cast it. If you let it harden overnight, say, they do get a little bit brittle, and then they're just gonna stay put. I can come back and, like, this is a little long here. I'm gonna just sand this with my sander, and it sands just fine. So I'll sand that little edge there. But if you tried to bend it after it's dried overnight, you're gonna break it. When you first cast it, it has a little bit of bend to it where you could put it on a, semi-curved surface, but you're not gonna get as much curve out of it as, say, casting them in the modeling, the Redesign with Prima modeling material. That's also in my blog. It shows you the modeling material, it shows you hot glue, and it shows you paper clay. So it shows you a bunch of different options on what you can cast your molds with, what the benefits are, and then you can kind of weigh what material you want to cast your molds with. So that's really pretty. I like this. I'm gonna do this one down here too. I'm just dry brushing. I just have an artist brush. I have barely any paint on my brush. You even see sometimes I'm dabbing it off on this towel up here, and I'm just hitting the high points of my molds. And it just brings out the details that are in them that you don't really see when they're just painted the body color. Very little paint does that, but makes a huge amount of difference. Now I'm going to do this one down here. Right now it's just painted in my body color. But once I hit the high points just with a little bit of paint, gives it more contrast. You can see the details of the molds that I put on there. So when I do molds, I like to hit the high points and the low points. So I'm going to seal this, and I'm going to put some dark waxes too around, that'll go in the deep crevices around the edges of these. And it's that combination of color in the high points and the low points that gives great definition to molds. Any molds, it could be details that were already on your piece. These I added, but some pieces come with great details. And then I'll do the same thing over here. And then I'm just going to do my stems in, I think I'm going to use coffee bean, which is a dark, rich brown, literally the color of coffee. Almost black, but it's a nice, rich brown. And that'll be a great color. And then my gold hardware, maybe a little bit of gilding wax in some of these details. I don't know, I haven't decided yet because I don't want it to be too fancy. I'm still going for that kind of rustic-y farmhouse feel. But I'm going to go ahead and let you guys get off. Please go follow my page at Brushed by Brandy. I've put my affiliate link in the post above. I always appreciate purchases made through there. I get a small percentage from Dixie Belle. The prices are the same for you guys though. You can also use those links to type in your zip code and find a Dixie Belle retailer near you if you want to go visit them and see the paints in person. But I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to go to my sleep study and I will see you guys next Thursday. Thank you.